Hi everybody, Alvaro here. I hope you're doing very, very well. So, what if I told you that our dear BG Wealth sharing might not actually be so unique at all? What if the same psychological playbook, the same recruitment, sponsoring tactics, however you want to call it, the same emotional manipulation, and the same collapse patterns? Because let's face it, this BG Wealth has collapsed already. I know some people are still paying $100 or paying the 12% tax or whatever. In fact, I haven't been following for the last 2 or 3 days because it's all the same nonsense. But on this video, I want to compare BG Wealth sharing to another company that also collapsed. So you can see that the patterns of how BG Wealth developed happened before, right? But under different name. So as I said, I want to compare BG Wealth sharing to another collapse opportunity called UICEX CR Group. Sounds like sex, but it's UICEX, right? CR Group LLC. I mean, you're going to be able to see down below this video the name. Because honestly, the similarities are actually getting difficult to ignore. Now, before I go ahead with the video, I want to thank the person that mentioned this company. In my last video, I had a comment by someone called Danny the Heck. He's got he's got a YouTube channel, he's got a website where he basically is a scam buster, right? I think he's doing a great job. I'm gonna leave you his YouTube channel. You're gonna find it here down below this video in the description. I'm gonna check it right now. He basically left me a comment on the last video, and he told me, let me check. Yeah, he told me to check this company on his website. So I went ahead, I went to his website, I checked it out, I read it all. And again, I'm going to leave you his YouTube channel and that direct link so you can check the information about this CR Group LLC, right? They call it UICEX. So you can check it out for yourself. So I want to thank you, Danny the Heck, for actually mentioning it. I've never heard about this particular company. I want to say company very lightly. So I went to his website and I read all about it, and you will see that it is a very well written article about this particular scam. And I want to talk to you about the similarities in this video, but feel free to check his YouTube, his website, maybe subscribe to his channel. I think he's got some great information. His videos are a little bit too long for my liking, but I think he's doing a great job. So anyway, having said that, I want to, based on the information I've seen, I want you to know the similarities, but also not just the similarities on the program, but the similarities at a psychological level. So why does this matter? Why does it matter that there has been a company before BG Wealth that was following the same patterns? Well, one of the biggest mistakes that people make online, especially in this crazy world of make money without doing anything, is that people think that this scam will be different. But when you study enough schemes or scams, you start noticing something fascinating, all right? The branding changes, the name, the website changes, the leaders that are involved change, but the psychological, how can I put it? The psychology and structure are almost identical. And that's why this comparison between these two companies actually matters, because once you learn the pattern, you start seeing it everywhere. And to be honest, I've seen many Ponzi schemes for the last 10 years. And yes, I fell for BG Wealth. for 10 years, I saw that every single company people were asking me to check were exactly the same. They all promise daily guarantee returns. When you see that, 100% of them are going to be Ponzi's. But I'm digressing here. Just know, anything that guarantees easy daily guarantee returns, it's a Ponzi. Don't even touch it. If you could get, I've seen a website that they say you can make 5-10% a day. If that was the case, you'll have more money than Bill Gates or Elon Musk if you could get 10% on your money every single day. So basically, this company, I keep forgetting the name, UICEX, all right, CR Group LLC. So they were presented as and pay attention to the similarities, crypto trading opportunity, a copy trading system, community-driven financial opportunity, and beginner-friendly wealth platform, right? People were told you don't need experience. There are some training experts that are going to handle everything for you, and the profits are consistent. In other ways, you psychologically you are thinking, wow, I've got daily money guarantee, daily returns guarantee, just like in a job, right? I'm thinking along those terms, that people become familiar with a job, getting paid every day or every week or every month, whatever, with this, but much easier, right? So it becomes very seductive, if that's the word I'm looking for. But these are the things that, if you've been in BG Wealth, probably sound familiar to you. So anyway, according to investigations and government warnings, UICEX allegedly operated through WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, doesn't ring any bells, fake trading platforms, DSJex, but it wasn't that one, recruitment systems, emotional community building, and visible early payouts that build trust. So when you get involved in one of these things and someone introduces you to it, and they manage to actually withdraw their money, you obviously trust that person. And sometimes that can blind you, and you put the blinkers and you don't see the reality. You just see money, money, money. It's working for him, it's going to work for me. But that's not, unfortunately, how this works, because I'm afraid to say that the scammers tend to be very, very clever, and they know exactly how to play the game. So you lose and they win. I only hope that those scammers, they end up in prison and they don't enjoy their earning. But anyway, the similarities between this company and BG Wealth Sharing is where things are getting really interesting. As I said, small early withdrawals build trust with people. In both systems, people often receive early withdrawals, which psychologically is genius, right? Evil genius, because once successful withdrawals happen, their brain says, this must be real, right? If it wasn't real, you wouldn't get any withdrawal. So that emotional proof becomes stronger than logic. Again, what I said, you put the blinkers on because you see people getting withdrawal. So both UICEX and BG Wealth Sharing use early success stories. As I mentioned in previous videos, there were hundreds of success stories, whatever you want to call success. For me, success is not about money, even though some people might accuse me of being materialistic. If you really knew me, you know that I'm not about that. But there you go. So screenshots, someone getting a car, testimonials, and people withdrawing, that creates confidence, which makes people recruit more people. It's social proof. So here's the thing, instead of being recruitment, it becomes helping people. Now, if you are very excited about it, and I admit it, I became excited about it because I thought this was going to be different. So it became, I don't want to recruit people just for me to make money. In fact, as you probably know in one of my videos, I didn't lend. I gave $1,000 to someone to help that person make money as well. I didn't care about getting a commission. I just wanted to help that person because I care about that person, right? So when you go from recruiting to make money to helping people, that's huge psychologically. You are more confident, you are more enthusiastic, and you are legitimately enthusiastic about it. And people don't feel like recruiters. They feel like they are helpers, they are educators, opportunity sharers, and financial freedom advocates. So UICEX investigations describe this exact emotional transformation. People gradually move from skepticism to participation to promotion. And BG Wealth share very, very similar patterns. They have private Zoom calls. These were mainly for the leaders in the company, but they have plenty of testimonials, family and friends recruitment, particularly in countries like from my understanding, the Philippines. I think there was another country. Never mind. I remember the Philippines. There were a ton of people from the Philippines. So there is emotional community pressure. The FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't miss this opportunity. People are earning. People are withdrawing every day. People are making, and yes, there were people most likely earning a lot of money, especially at the beginning. Now, the other thing is the copy trading simplicity. That's another similarity that is incredible. Both systems presented trading, which I've traded before in the past. I know how difficult it can be. Particularly emotionally, it's a roller coaster. You have to control your emotions. It isn't just about knowing when to get in, when to get out from the market. It's money management, otherwise you lose your account. But particularly, it's the mindset. You just have to control your mind. Otherwise, no matter how good the strategy is, no matter how good you are managing money, you are going to blow your account, because if you can't control your emotions, they are gone, basically, right? So the trading here was presented as simple, almost risk-free. To be honest, BG Wealth sharing, they presented it as risk-free, because I read somewhere that Stephen, professor, all right, that AI Muppet, said somewhere, I don't know where it was, but I read it, that it promised that if anybody lost their seed money, it would personally pay that money back. So there was no risk whatsoever, theoretically, right? So people saw it, as I said, as simple, almost risk-free, beginner-friendly, and copy and paste easy. So you don't need to know anything about trading. You just copy and paste this code. Now, again, psychologically, that simplicity is very important because it removes fear and complexity. People think something like, in their mind, subconsciously, finally, something ordinary people can actually do. I don't have to spend 1 year or 2 years learning to trade. I don't have to go through the roller coaster of emotions. I don't need to learn how to manage my money, how to protect it against losses. I can do this. I can copy and paste. Everybody can do that, right? So that is a very, very strong point, the simplicity. Another important aspect is the community psychology. And this might be the strongest similarity of all between these two programs. Both systems created private chat groups, something I would call emotional belongings, motivational environment, right? Particularly this Steven and Elena. I mean, I don't know about the other company, but BG Wealth, they were trying to motivate people. And that was one of my red flags. When I see certain BS motivational talk, I can see through the smoke and mirrors of what they're trying to achieve, right? Anyway, they also, something very important is, this is used by some conspiracy theorists Although some people will say I'm a little bit of conspiracy theorist in some aspects in my life. But anyway, they use the us versus them. So we, the little guys, versus the big guys. And that thinking is common trait, not just in these two companies, but in most Ponzi companies that you're going to see. Also, distrust of critics. Again, I fell for it myself. I put my hand up. I'm not blaming, mocking anybody. When I got started, I could see some red flags. I could see that governments were issuing warnings, and that was ignored, right? And that was ignored by the majority of people. In fact, when I got started, one of the things that was mentioned is, do not Google this opportunity. And I kind of agree, because you can't trust everything that Google tells you. You can't trust everything definitely ChatGPT tells you. ChatGPT makes tons of mistakes, right? And I know, because I use it every single day and I use it a lot. So I make a lot of mistakes. So that's one of the things I was telling BG Wealth. They kept insisting on trusting the process, on having faith in the program, on being loyal to professor, right? That is more like a cult, right? Not like a business. Now, remember this, in business, you don't want to trust the process. That's easy. You want to check the facts. You want to check, and I failed to do that, put my hand up. You have to check who's behind. Something I've done for years. Before you join any opportunity, any business, the most important thing, in my opinion, is check who's behind that company. Who is the person running the show? Is it or she someone you will trust? Is he or she have any track record of success? Are they good people? Have they got any background in running other Ponzi's? So that's something so important, rather than just trusting or having faith. Another similarity that you will find between these two, and many other, were the constant excuses during problems. This pattern appears repeatedly among online Ponzi-style schemes. When you see some red flags, it means they are gone. They are done. They're gonna rug pull. So when problem starts with upgrades, migrations, hacks, rings a bell, temporary freezes, taxes, activation fees, compliance checks. Well, when you show your ID, check one of the videos I created a few days ago, where I explain how dangerous really is to give your ID. And I created even a guide that I'm going to leave down below this description, a little guide where you can, if you want, follow step by step to try and protect yourself if you have already given your ID to the scammers, right? So the other thing, obviously, when government interference begins to appear, like the FBI, involved trying to arrest people and going to a compound of Asian gangs, because that's what I think is happening. There is clearly two people cannot run the show, right? This is BG Wealth was very well organized, and it's definitely being run by a compound where I think people are being forced to work. I can't put my hand on the fire because I don't know, I haven't seen myself, but that's what I think. Two people can't run BG Wealth or any other scam, right? Especially as they were saying, if it's true, I don't know. If they had so many hundreds of thousands of members, how do you expect two people to run the show, Ellen and Steven? It's impossible. So, as I said, BG Wealth sharing members recently discussed the migration system, BonChat, DSJex, verification requests, and new payment requests. Again, very familiar patterns. So I'm going 20 minutes now in this video, so I don't want to make it that long again, but My apologies. I try to make it as short as possible, but I talk a lot. Anyway, the biggest lesson here is this video is not just about BG Wealth or UICEX or one specific company. It's about understanding the playbook, right? Because once you understand the psychology, you become much harder to manipulate online, right? The pattern often looks like hope, right? You got hope that something's gonna work, small success, maybe some small withdrawals, emotional trust, community, social proof, community reinforcement. Then you start recruiting, then things escalate, excuses become apparent for everything and anything, withdrawal problems, and then what they've been doing is one last payment. That's what I title well my videos. Just one last payment, pay $100. And then finally they collapse. They all collapse. All Ponzi schemes collapse 100%. As I said many times, any company that promises daily guarantee return on your money is a Ponzi 100%. Don't even doubt it. They're gonna collapse eventually. You or the majority of people are gonna lose the money because they're gonna do a rug pull. But what they're gonna do is they're gonna rebrand it. They're gonna come up with another page, another website that's got, it's the same pattern. It's the same pattern. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. They know what works. They know what works psychologically to get people in, keep them in, and get them to recruit other people. It is evil genius what they do. And I hate to say that it's genius, but it really is. So the final message here before it goes any longer, this video. Remember, most victims are not stupid. Most scams do not succeed because people are greedy. They succeed because trust is exploited, emotions are manipulated, and hope becomes stronger than skepticism and rational thinking, right? And that's why education matters. You need to learn and protect yourself online, because once people recognize them, the illusions start breaking. And honestly, that might be the most valuable financial skill anyone can learn online today, to recognize what is a scam and protect against them, basically. So having said that, I'm going to cut this video. I'm going to go and record my screen. I'm going to show you where I took this information from, so you can read about it. Again, I took it, all the credit goes to Danny the Heck that left a comment in one of my videos, and he mentioned this particular company. So I was able to read about it, get myself a little bit up to speed, and obviously record this video. So as I said, I'm going to leave down below this video in the description a link to his YouTube channel and a link directly to his website where you can read about these other companies. So you can see the similarities are amazing. Guys, keep safe. Use common sense, and I know common sense is uncommon. Be safe, really. All right, having said that, as I said, I'm going to leave you the links for Danny the Heck. I'm going to leave you a couple of links as well below to, probably you've seen in my previous videos, a couple of guides to help you protect against scams in the future, and know what to do if you're a scam and what you can attempt to do to try alleviate future problems. Anyway, having said that, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and put the video showing you the rest. All right. So this is Danny the Heck YouTube channel, okay, which you will see the link to his channel. You can see here, but I'm gonna leave it down below in the description. And the information I got it from this one. It's a very well written article. Yeah, you can read all about here. It's gonna take you a little bit to read, but yeah, as I said, it's really well written. I checked all the information, I did a little bit more research. Yeah, so good work. And yeah, if you guys want to subscribe to his channel and follow what he's doing, I think, as I said, I like what he's doing. We might not agree in certain things. He doesn't like network marketing, and I've got another idea about network marketing. I don't love all the network marketing companies. The majority are not very good, but there are some good ones, and probably wouldn't agree with me. But that's okay. It's okay to have different opinions. Everyone is different. But anyway, just wanted to show you this. And again, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.